Welcome, everybody, to another week's edition of The Talk with AVC. I am your host, AVC, and we're doing things a little bit in reverse today. I'm just in here with Danny. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
And we're going to start with the basketball segment on today's show because why not? I like to change it up. So, one of the big stories coming out of the NBA is the potential return of LaMelo Ball.
Yes.
How does that impact the Eastern playoff race?
It does. I thought he was out for the season. I guess he's got some crazy human genes to recover that quick.
But, it's a wrist injury. What were we really expecting with this
I said his right wrist. Isn't it his shooting wrist though?
It might be. I don't remember exactly.
If it's his left wrist, I could see why, because I guess you're just doing this. Like, you're not really shoot with the left hand. I mean, I guess for a guy, but yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, ESPN and SportsCenter and House of Highlights will have their content back.
Yes, that's nice for them.
That's good for them. I think it's a good, but honestly, he's fun to watch. So I like even without them, the Hornets they're treading water. They're sitting at like roughly.
That was my point I was going to make. Was I'm impressed actually. Michael Jordan went from being like the worst owner in sports
to building a competitive team.
One.
Yeah, he's a competitive
like suddenly
team.
This terrible mishmash of draft busts and overpaid role players. Suddenly they get the one superstar, and now everything seems to fit together.
I mean, sometimes it just takes one
crazy.
swing of just like in baseball, it takes one swing of a bat. It just takes one pick to change the fortunes of a franchise.
It really does. Now, the one team this is probably bad for is the New York Knicks, who have been on a 6-game win streak, but now they have a couple of games against the Hornets. If LaMelo comes back, this could throw a wrench into their desires to try to get into the middle seeds in the Eastern Conference. But
I think they'll be fine, honestly. I think that the Knicks, I feel like, what are they? They won like 6 in a row, right? You said
they won 6 in a row. Yes.
Well, first of all, wow.
What a sentence, right? Who thought we'd ever be saying that in a sentence?
I don't think I've said that since like 2012, 2013. But yeah, I'm happy for. I've said I hate the Knicks, but I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for their fans, and I feel like basketball is better when they're competitive. And I honestly feel like even with LaMelo coming back, I feel like they'll be able to hold on to that spot actually.
So right now the Knicks are tied with Boston. And I think the thing that's grabbing a lot of media headlines, and this is one thing I can't stand about the Knicks, and it's not so much the Knicks' fault, it's the media's reaction to the Knicks. Oh, God. Like, they don't pay attention to anything with other teams. A superstar might be interested in New York.
Yeah.
He's going there. You know, you heard it with the whole Devin Booker thing a little while back. And then there was a segment on ESPN. It was Get Up, I think, where they were talking about Devin Booker to the Knicks. They mentioned the Phoenix Suns and the fact that they were having a great year this year, a total of 2 times in that entire 7-minute video. It's all about Booker's connection with Leon Rose and what he could mean to the Big Apple. It's like, why would he leave Phoenix when they're just starting to turn it around?
The only thing is that now that the Knicks have a solid foundation, I'm not saying Devin Booker's leaving. I think Devin Booker's there for the long haul. I agree. That's just a ridiculous segment. But other stars can be attractive now because it's the Big Apple. You're in the mecca of basketball. You're in the mecca of sports. And they're not bad anymore.
I agree with that. But, however, one thing about a good culture is how quickly it can fall apart. So
that is also true.
The key test is you have to sustain it. And when you look at a team, the Nets are the perfect example. They had a toxic culture for years, and then they had a couple years of being okay. Usually, really, the D'Angelo Russell. Oh, beautiful. Lovely, the D'Angelo Russell era. And then they got Katie and Kyrie to come. But they kind of timed their culture rebound in a year where there were big free agents. There are really no big free agents this year. This is a very mediocre free agency class. I think the best guy in the market might be like DeMar DeRozan.
I actually think Kawhi can opt out. Actually,
Kawhi can opt out, but
if they don't win,
that he will opt out and probably still return to the Clippers like Paul George.
That's true, but if he opts out and they don't win this year, he might be out of there.
I mean, maybe, but where are you going to get a better situation than LA right now?
That's true. I don't know.
There's not a lot of teams where you could just insert yourself and you have a much better team, unless you were going to go to some team and they overhauled their roster.
Yeah, I I don't know. I just don't know if.
I mean, maybe Dallas. They got a meeting with Kawhi before he ended up signing with the Clippers, but there's not a lot of teams.
I mean, I don't know if I don't even. I mean, I know if they bring Kawhi, Luka, and Porzingis, I don't know how the money would work because they have to pay Luka anyway. So.
Luka's an RFA next year.
Yeah.
He still has a year on his rookie deal, so basically
they'd have 1 year to figure it out.
If you're not afraid of going into the luxury tax, you could pay Kawhi and then pay Luka a max the next year.
Yeah, I guess it's
kind of similar to what because you have bird rights, similar to kind of what the Heat did with LeBron and Wade and Bosh.
Yeah.
But back to the Knicks, the other big star highlighting this was last night. The Knicks played the Pelicans, and in an interview afterwards, it's been blown out of proportion like crazy. Zion was apparently very happy to hear a question. He actually said, "I was waiting for you to ask that question. What did it feel like playing in Madison Square Garden? What do you think about the Knicks?" And he was incredibly complimental, and many have put the pieces together. Wait a minute, Zion and RJ are best friends.
Knicks.
Zion wanted to go to New York to begin with. He's stuck with the Pelicans. Pelicans are bad right now.
Knicks.
Exactly.
I mean,
oh my! First of all, even if it was to happen, you're probably about 4 years away from that to begin with.
Yeah.
Because no guy trades until they get that first extension after their rookie deal because you leave way too much money on the table. So with guys like Garnett, like Carmelo Anthony, etc., guys don't leave until they get that first extension.
Yeah. I don't think it's happened since in the modern era. Like,
no, not really.
Everyone always
most RFAs, especially if they're superstars, stay
unless they don't want you.
Yeah, like maybe like a John Collins situation where he might dip.
But
the other thing is, even if you were to get Zion, what are you doing? Trading Julius Randle? Like, where's Zion gonna play?
I mean, they used to call Julius Randle budget Zion. So like,
he is budget Zion. That's literally what he is.
He's not playing like budget Zion anymore. He's
playing like what he was supposed to play out of as the 7th pick out of Kentucky.
Yes. Oh man, I felt bad for him though because I remember this is completely off topic, but like I remember like his first season, he played like 5 minutes in his first game.
And he broke his leg.
His leg, couldn't win Rookie of the Year.
Yep, I remember that. Getting back to actually small market superstar teams, let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves and their new owner,
A-Rod,
Alex Rodriguez.
I don't know what that does, but like, I know
money, maybe.
I know Anthony Edwards doesn't know who he is, so like,
Anthony, please go watch some baseball. You'll thank me later.
No, he did say it was funny because like
the kid's like 8. The kid's younger than me.
Yeah, which is weird.
So I know, weird, but it's like I'm not surprised he doesn't know who A-Rod is, to be honest.
But like I remember he said like in like an interview like early on in the season, like he was on some talk show. He's like, yeah, I used to play baseball. He's like started naming all these positions and stuff like that. And he goes, yeah, I don't know who A-Rod is. I don't really follow baseball.
Oh my god.
I'm just like. I love Anthony Edwards, though. I think he's hilarious. I think he has a bright future.
And this is the other big story coming out of the Stowe. Longtime owner Glenn Taylor, who Minnesota despises, apparently broke a promise on who he was supposed to sell the team to. I don't know if you heard this. Apparently, he was supposed to sell the team to a ownership group led by Timberwolves legend Kevin Garnett.
Yes.
Kevin Garnett was apparently promised that his group would get first notice to match the bid or to go over the bid and buy the team. Taylor stiffed him. Yeah, if that isn't the Glenn Taylor era in Minnesota in a nutshell, I don't know what is.
I agree. Oops. All right. I tried to go down a little bit. Okay. But
I think that's just kind of perfect. Like you one last time screwing over the top player in your team's history.
Yeah, and I know they've never really had like a good relationship ever. Like I'm pretty like Kevin Garnett, like I'm pretty sure has openly said like as long as he's the owner, I do not want my number retired. Yeah, it went all the way back to the whole firing of I'm blanking on the name of the coach, but the guy who was coaching Garnett before Dwayne Casey came in, I forget who it was off the top of my head. But it went back all the way to that, and it just was
this weird relationship. And then Garnett went off on him on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that. Garnett went absolutely off on Glenn Davis.
I'll probably read that during the break. But,
and he is now looking for other opportunities to buy an NBA franchise. He clearly wants to buy one.
Well, I mean, DWade just bought the Jazz.
I was about to say, DWade
taking
Montana's taking the Jazz.
He's taking the Jazz.
You know, it's nice because in these small market teams, you kind of need a celebrity owner to bring something
there,
some media attention to the team. Even going back to like Jordan with Charlotte.
Yeah, like the
how many people know about the Hornets just simply because Jordan's the owner?
It's a good chunk of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and now you got Alex Rodriguez, baseball legend, who cheated, but
controversial legend, but
he's a legend. He now owns the small market team, DWade. The Jazz are now my second favorite team.
Also, how interesting is this that the guy that Donovan Mitchell keeps being compared to is now the owner of the team?
I love it. I love it a lot, and it's gonna do wonders. I doubt DWade's gonna go lace him up and practice with him, but
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing. But I feel like at the very least, he'll have a guy. He'll have the guy who's compared to all the time, right there in his corner with him every single day, helping him get better. Which I don't know how many people will see that, but I think it'll do wonders.
Speaking of the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell actually going down with an ankle injury. His MRIs are negative, thankfully. It's bad news for my fantasy basketball team because we enter playoffs next week, and I need Donovan Mitchell healthy. So, Spider, please get back. But is the top seed in the West now up for grabs with Mitchell out?
Even with Mitchell there, it's always been up for grabs. I think Phoenix is right there with him, I believe.
Does Phoenix grab it? That's the question. Do they actually grab it?
And I don't think the Clippers are that far back either, if I remember correctly.
Let's see.
I don't think the Nuggets will get it. The Nuggets too far out of it.
Phoenix is a game and a half. The Clippers are 3.5.
What's after that? Like 5?
Denver's 5.5. The Lakers are 8. And
yeah,
Portland's 10.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers snagged it. I feel like there's a world where that happens, but
I could also see Phoenix.
Phoenix definitely, Phoenix definitely has a shot, and I think Donovan Mitchell's out for like a week or so, right?
He's supposed to be. He's going to be reevaluated at the end of the week, like Saturday, I think.
Okay, so, but even with Mitchell there, I actually see either Phoenix or Los Angeles, not the Lakers, the Clippers. I see one of them snagging the top seed. It's just a gut feeling. I have no factual evidence behind it. It's just just one of those they got it.
Yeah, you gotta have those sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but at the same time, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an interesting postseason. And the question really is with the Lakers: is the dynamic duo going to be back?
I think they will, and this will be like the ultimate test because they're not going to have home court advantage. They're not going to have the chemistry of playing together all season.
Correct.
And the role players have to, I guess, downset a bit.
Readjust
to being role players. So Kuzma's not going to be getting 30 shots a game or whatever, or Taylor Horton Tucker is going to not be getting that many shots. KCP, same thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how everything unfolds. It should be an exciting finish, and I'm looking forward to postseason basketball for the first time in May in a while.
And one other thing, one final thing here before we go. Let's talk a bit about the Celtics with Brad Stevens. The contract details of the offer he got from the University of Indiana have been revealed. A 7-year, $10 million per year deal to be the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. 7 years, $70 million. That would pay him $7.26 million more than what his current deal with the Celtics is.
He said no. Good man. Good on him. He wants to be an NBA coach. He clearly loves coaching in Boston. And I mean, I feel like I would have taken that, honestly.
I would have taken the Indiana job, to be honest. That's just me.
Yeah.
You get the money, you get more control over your operations, less pressure. it just seems like a win-win-win for me.
It does, and I feel like he almost had to because I remember there was a couple weeks ago where he was out of there for
He's
Boston.
still on the hot seat.
He's still on the hot seat. I mean,
he is being now regarded as one of the most overrated coaches in the league because while he's a good coach, you look at him sometimes it's like, yeah, but what have you actually done? Couple Eastern Conference Finals appearances.
That's
he's had talented rosters.
That's true. I feel like I'll put it like.
Do people overrate that whole Isaiah Thomas era and always accredit that to Stevens?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that everything, I guess, like every flame burns out at some point. And what I mean by that is, Brad Stevens is a great coach. If he gets fired right now, if he gets fired today, he'll have a job next week. That's how good of a coach he is. He'll have a full-time job, multi-year contract next week. But he knows the X's and O's. He knows the X's. He knows his basketball. I just don't know if he motivates his players enough anymore because I guess he's been there too long. But I feel like that happens sometimes. Where, like a good coach has a good stint, but like at the end of the day, it's like you gotta like move on. Like kind of like with Dwayne. Like remember Dwayne Casey a few years back when he was the Raptors coach? Yeah, Toronto. If he's fired, not because he did a bad job, it's just
they needed a different.
Different coach, and I mean,
Kawhi.
A trade for Kawhi also doesn't hurt.
But, yeah, no, that doesn't hurt. I feel like Dwayne Casey could have done a bit with Kawhi Leonard at the 3 instead of DeRozan. But.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like, I don't think he'll be fired. I just feel like if he were to get fired, I feel like that's what's happening right now. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like if he was to get fired, it would have happened already. And if he was, and now they'll just wait till his contract expires in 2 years before they reevaluate anything.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for our basketball segment. Thank you all very much for tuning into this one.
Thanks for having me on.
Danny, good to have you. And I'll be back in a minute with our next segment. See you then. That was a great bow and arrow.
Thank you.